Good day, global crypto enthusiasts. This is 88 Fantastic coming to you on Monday, January 28th, 2019. We're going to do a quick refresh of the market before we get into some news. And over the weekend, you guys saw an obvious slide of about $8 billion coming down from the market. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, as if anybody's actually watched my videos over the last 2 weeks. About 2 weeks ago, we called a $3,200 Bitcoin by the end of, well, we didn't call a $3,200 Bitcoin by the end of the month, but the Elliott wave charts are showing that by tomorrow the 29th or the 30th, this could literally slide back down to 3,200. I myself would like to see it still fight at around the 3,600 mark, but as you can see, it's just been getting crushed here. So let's have a look and see who's had a good week. As we talked about in the article that I wrote on Solo the other week, Revane, where is Hollow? Oh, it must be sliding back finally. But Revane, Hollow Chain, and Pundy were having an amazing week last week. So in the green, we've only got one because of the constant slide. And let's see who's taking an absolute beating in the top 100. Look at Loopring. So about 2 weeks ago, Loopring just bounced right into the top 100 after being out of there for quite some time. And you can see what's happening here. And if you're not familiar with the space, is what's happening is these pump and dump groups will come in and they will hammer a project. They will pre-plan something. And these groups got anywhere from a couple of thousand up to literally 10, 12,000 people in here. And they will absolutely predetermine a date and shill it through the social media, and that they will hammer a project. And you can see that's exactly what happened to Loopring. And then everybody, look at that, double digit red for everybody in a 2-day span. Look at Tron's chart. Oh my God, just went way up and then took a beating. So Tron seems like it'd be another one that the robots are beating up on and going back and forth. So what we're seeing with Bitcoin right now at 3450, fully expected the charts fully expected to slide back a little bit more. For me, it's not the price. Come on, coin market cap always so long here. I just want to show you guys something here real quick here. If this page will ever load. Come on, baby. Is the actual market cap itself, not the price, individual price of a Bitcoin or the individual price of something else. What you're looking for is this number right here, right now. Normally, the market cap number means nothing. Normally, a market cap on anything means nothing. But the reason this is so valuable right now is because the market is so low. And if this number actually goes below 100 billion, there are products that need to be taken off of exchanges because they don't qualify in order to be sold. You don't hear anybody talking about this. This is what I mean. There's so many YouTubers out there that don't even talk about the critical aspect that is the most important thing in this market right now is the 100 billion and $1 mark. If that number drops below 100 billion on a weekday in normal business, there are products on this crypto market that are simply going to disappear from the charts. So that's what they don't talk about that, but I talk about that. You guys need to know that stuff. So let's start getting into the news, and we will save our village idiot. Okay, so let's start the video. Bitcoin's at 34.57. Let's see where it finishes up before we're done. Let's get on to some news. In an article, in the videos and the articles that I wrote last week and the week before, we talked about the only people that are shilling ridiculous pricings right now are YouTube people and billionaires. This village idiot, Tom Lee, has been predicting for about a year and a half now, and you know what? This guy's been right 0 times. 0. Along with Novocrats and a bunch of other these clowns that are so wealthy. They shouldn't even, why are they getting media attention when they're fucking wrong? Every time wrong. So here's the article from earlier this morning. The past 12 months haven't been easy for any Bitcoin bull, but perhaps no cryptocurrency proponent has had a worse time of it than Tom Lee. The Wall Street strategist who predicted that Bitcoin would hit 25,000 by the end of 2018 must now reckon with the result that his forecast every time he goes on TV. But then he gets back on and talks about how it's going to get back to 25K again. And this is what I talk about when people don't timestamp a chart. When you're doing Elliott wave and you're doing all your retracements and everything else that goes into a chart, if you're not going to timestamp something, it's called fucking generalizing. And that's what this clown is doing. He is generalizing a price because he's been wrong his entire life on the guessing of Bitcoin price. So now he's going to generalize and say, well, it's going to hit 25K. Well, it could also hit 2K, right? So if you're not going to timestamp your product and you're not going to show the work that goes into it and putting a date and a price on it, you should really shut the fuck up and not be on TV or any media anymore. Tom Lee is wrong every time and deserves zero attention. All right, so next one, crypto exchanges begin to shut down as the bear market is in full force. As you know, as of today, it's January 20th, 2019. If people weren't aware and hadn't been following my channel, in 2018 alone, there were over 1,800 cryptocurrency businesses that shut down. So what had happened in the bear market is a lot of these companies kept their crypto thinking that it was going to keep going higher, and they start paying their staff in crypto, and the price keeps going lower. So now you're not even making your hourly wage, you're making half of that. Then the next week you're making a quarter of that. So how are people going to survive? So the ones that are surviving right now, when they did their ICOs, they were very smart. A lot of the companies, what they did when Ethereum was at $1,000 and Bitcoin was at 15, 16 grand, they sold it back into actual money and didn't worry about the market. So the article goes, after miners, it is a crypto exchanges that stand before the wrath of a bearish cryptocurrency market. Liqui, Liqui, a small but long-time running crypto trading company, announced today that it would close down its operations in a simple goodbye note. The Ukrainian exchange said it was unable to provide liquidity for its customers, and this is what we're seeing more and more often because these companies kept the crypto in their exchanges and paid their staffs with it rather than selling it at top price and running their business, right? So on to the next bit of news here. We've got Venezuela Bitcoin trading sets giants all-time high. Venezuela traded more bolivars for Bitcoins than ever last week. Volumes on the P2P trading platforms, local Bitcoins reached 15.7 billion amid increasing political stability. Data from monitoring resource CoinDance, which began tracking local Bitcoin volumes again this week after a short hiatus, confirmed a new weekly record. This is absolutely great news because, as you know, anyone that's been following Venezuela, it's a really bad situation over there. Their hyperinflation is just astronomical. So the fact that people can get some Bitcoin in and start trading at real world value rather than super hyperinflated is just crazy. So, and then staying with Venezuela is Venezuela has been facing a collapsing economy for the last few years with major problems and increasing hyperinflation, political turmoil, and corruption. Shortages in necessities such as food and medicines for its population and political uncertainty. In addition, there is pressure from other countries. Venezuela is a country with that's rich in oil and has always been this way, and Venezuela was really a fairly well-to-do country until the last few years, until a lot of the issues that they've had politically. What this article doesn't refer to is Dash, and Dash has been doing an amazing job in Venezuela and helping out their businesses and people. But right now there's an issue with Dash accusing Dash Venezuela of ripping people off on there. So even though sometimes these people are partnered together, they're not working in the same room together. All right, so like what we like to do once in a while, we try to find our weekly or daily Village Idiot of the Week. And this one has made the list multiple times, and they're going to make the list again today because it is just absolutely sickening to listen to a person like Jamie Dimon and people from JP Morgan and the big four banks in the United States where they've done nothing but rip people off for the last 20 plus years and have completely gotten away with it while they still make their $400 million a year bonuses. So anyways, this article is from this morning. Investment bank JP Morgan has said that cryptocurrencies would only have value in a dystopian economy. In a recent note to its clients, the firm said it was skeptical about the value of cryptocurrencies apart in a dystopia where investors have lost all confidence in all major reserves, the dollar, the euro, the yen, gold, and in payment systems, according to Business Insider on Monday. JP Morgan also reportedly said earlier this week, with prices so low, Bitcoin is worth less than it is the cost to mine it. It's funny when they come out there and they constantly bash this, but yet they open up their own over the counter trading of Bitcoin product. They don't sit there and tell you what it actually costs to mine physical gold, but they'll bash the product while they sell it and while they buy it in the background. Just total scumbags. Anyways, Bitcoin and the wider crypto market have spent the last year in a bear market. After reaching a record high of about 20,000 in December of 2017, Bitcoin is down 83% and is currently trading at around 34.20. The other thing when they produce all of this FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, when they post such shitty numbers like this, they also don't tell you that this is the fifth or sixth time in the 10 years of Bitcoin that this has happened. What they also don't tell you is that when this has happened, Bitcoin has rebounded and come back even stronger each and every time this happens. So why doesn't JP Morgan Chase and Jamie Dimon and all these people come up and say that? Because they're buying it without, and they're slamming it at the same time. That's what these guys do. Typical bankers and typical politicians, as I wrote in my article, always do the opposite of what they say. Their actions are always the reverse of what they say. So, my village idiot of the week, and they've made this list many times, is CEO Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan and the JP Morgan Bank. That's it for the global news right now. We'll do a quick refresh. So we were at, we lost. So in this video, Bitcoin already dropped down 4 more bucks. We were at 57 when we did the video. So, and our market cap is at 112. So anyways, before we end this video, we talked last week and the week before, and the reason that the charts are they're not 100% accurate, but they're close now, is because it's all algorithms and people watching the charts now. All the dummy money is now gone. So it's who's setting their parameters on their robots and who's trading it faster right now, and that's what causes these massive slippages. This one, I'm not going to come out and say it's weak hand selling. I'm going to say that this massive sell-off is because people didn't change their parameters, and that's what happens. By the time everybody's algorithms on the robots catch back up, that's when we're going to stop. We'll probably stop, I'm going to say, between the 100 billion, 0.7 and 105. So I fully expect it to slide to 101 to 105 before we see a bounce backwards. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed the global news. This is 88 Fantastic, showing you how to take a bite out of the cryptocurrency. Take care, y'all.